Hello, welcome back to another You Ask, I Answer. I have gotten this question a few times over the past many years on YouTube, but I think it's best to put it in a video in my reply. Then maybe I won't get the same question ever again. Nick, why don't CGC open a branch in the UK? Nick, why don't CGC open a branch in Canada? Why don't they open a branch on the West Coast? From various different people, but they all relate to other location, new location, additional location. And first, I would never say never, okay? I would never say that CGC will never open a second location, but I will maintain my stand that I don't see this happening anytime soon. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? Why do I believe that CGC won't open a new location anytime soon? When you look at any business, okay, it could be Kinko, it could be McDonald's, could be Starbucks, could be Jiffy Lube, you name it. Franchise of any kind of business. What do you think every single one of those business did before they open multiple locations? They master their processes. They spent years, if not decades, honing the procedures, the process to make things standardized so that they can replicate the same thing everywhere quickly. Okay? Other than building out the location and hiring the staff, they can get things up and running quickly. Agree? Okay. If you disagree, then the rest of this video you won't agree with, okay? But that is the same formula that every business need to achieve in order to open multiple locations. Master the process. Now, when is the last time any one of us can say that CGC have mastered their business? Get their house in order. When is the last time any one of us can say, yeah, CGC get the shizzle together? You know, they books come in, come out, weeks, no damages, consistent grading, no error in labeling. CGC, for those that have been in this hobby long enough, have been inconsistent for a long time. They have been slow with delays, big backlog for years, if not decades. They have had inconsistent grading for a long time. Going back to the beginning, for those that have old label slab, not every single old label slab is undergraded, okay? But the inconsistency, the trouble in production, the slabbing problem, the error in labeling, there's all kind of problems going on at CGC for years now. Forget about the slowness. The slowness is something that they cannot solve because a big part of the slowness is the huge demand, the huge inflow that they keep getting. So they can't stop that, okay? Sure, opening new site, hiring new people, additional people would help, but if you can't get quality control in one location, do you care to try a second location? Think about that, Okay, I'm being as real as I can be. Okay, I run a business. I have worked for a company that have multiple sites. I understand the problem with multiple locations. Consistency is a big problem, and when it comes down to CGC specifically, it's a business where it is a lot dependent on human eyes and brains, and that is extremely difficult to maintain any kind of consistency. Okay, I fully understand that CGC grading has fluctuated to being too tight, too loose, too tight, too loose over the past many decades. They have waves of easy grading and waves of tough grading, all dependent on new hires as well, right? So it is a problem for CGC. On top of that, a lot of people collect comic books. Yes. But a lot of people don't want to work as a grader. If you don't know, the average graders grade 300 plus, 300 plus books a day. Can you? I can grade, but I don't want care to grade 300 books a week, let alone a day, 5 or 6 days a week. Okay, it's repetitious, it's monotonous, it is drudgery. Okay, so it's not that simple. It seems so easy for people that don't do a whole lot of grading on their own to say, oh, just hire new people, hire more people. You know, it's not the kind of work that a lot of Americans want to do. Okay, you think if Apple opened a manufacturing plant here in the USA and pay people $15, $18 an hour, you think there could be a line of people applying for that job because they want to sit at the table and insert all these little chips and pins and all that stuff into the motherboard of the phone, like the place in China that's doing it right now? You think there's gonna be Americans out there that's willing to do that kind of work for 15 or 18 bucks an hour? So drudgery kind of work is just not something that Americans want to do. So hiring people to do that kind of work, can you imagine pre-graders flip through every comic book to count all the pages, do that 300 plus times a day? Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, so hiring is not as simple, okay? It's not like you're gonna find a whole lot of people that just love to work for CGC. There's a lot of collectors, but on the grand scheme of things, it's still a very small hobby. And to find people that give a shizzle about this hobby, to handle things with care instead of like just toss it around, it's not easy. It's easier to deal with baseball card. It's hard to damage Pokemon card, baseball card, Magic the Gathering card. It's easier. That's why CGC have an easier time ramping up that division. But when it comes down to comic book grading, it is pure drudgery. Thus, until they prove to me that they can get their house in order here in Sarasota, I just don't see how they can even think about open a second location. They have not proven to me at all since 2008, since I returned to the hobby and submit books regularly. I see a whole lot of nonsense for the past 13 years. It's not just this year. Sure, this year is worse. Make no mistake, the last year is worse than ever. But it was never good. Let me make that very clear. CGC was never good. So they went from not good to bad. Okay, so need I say more?